sea shanties have been, had a resurgence thanks to TikTok. But did that make my enjoyment of Fisherman's Friend 2, one and all, greater or less? Welcome to another movie review. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave my playlist of my recent movie reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something else to watch in the cinema this week or stream at home this week. Yes, they made a sequel to Fisherman's Friends? Oh, I never know. Somebody in this film makes a joke about it being like The Sweet, and I was like, yes. I have trouble saying the name of this film because all I can think of is the little waxy packet with the sweets in. But yes, they made a sequel to Fisherman's Friend. Now, I definitely should have watched the first film before going to watch the sequel. However, it was streaming for a long time on Sky or Netflix, and it's just not now because they know that everybody wants to watch it before going to see the sequel. But there was some stuff that I couldn't remember from that film because I think I went to watch that. I know I reviewed it, so I will leave that review linked up above. But I think I went to watch that when I was back from the US one spring. So I don't know if that was 2017 or 2018. It would have been one of those, and so it's been a while. It's either been 4 or 5 years since I saw it, and I think that I needed to remind myself of A, the sort of essence of the film, but B, what happened to the characters in that film. Now, this film definitely feels like it was filmed with the COVID protocols and during COVID, and in the credits, because I stayed for the credits because the music was lovely, and in the credits they specifically say that this film, they thanked the cast and crew for filming it during a really difficult time during the COVID-19 pandemic. But sometimes you do just get that feeling of, oh, we only had like X number of people in the room here because of COVID protocols, or we only focused on X number of characters here because of COVID protocols, or oh, we're outside here because of COVID protocols. Okay, so obviously positives about this film, the views of Cornwall are just fantastic, and the music is just fantastic, and I really like the kind of bond that these men have, because you don't see an awful lot of that in films. You have kind of like, guys being bros, or like knowing each other because of their wives or their kids, or knowing each other because they're related. But these guys have such a strong bond, and I think that that's not seen enough on film, and so it is great to see them bonding. And then this film is also very positive about addiction and mental health. Again, no spoilers, but it is there are specific moments in this one where they talk about mental health, and specifically men's mental health, and saying, that message of it's okay to not be okay. And so those were definite positives in the film. Obviously the music's fantastic. Obviously I want to listen to the soundtrack. Like it was just great when they would all strike up and sing, and it's essentially a musical, isn't it? It's not your sort of conventional musical, but it is, because they'll break into song, or we'll see them on the road performing their songs. But then there were things about this film that I disliked as well. So it was very much a film of both. As I say, you could sort of tell sometimes it was very stilted and very like formulaic, if you like, and I think that was probably due to COVID protocols. We focus very much on a very select group of characters rather than the group as a whole, or rather than the community as a whole, because we've got this whole fishing village, this whole community that we really focused on in film one, and we really sort of narrowed it down and sort of selected very specific characters to focus on in this film, which, there was definite justification for focusing on these characters, but I don't remember the first film being as like honed in and sort of pared down, and I think that pared downness was due to COVID protocols. And then Jim, the main character, who, if you've seen one, you'll know he's a very like he's a bit of a Ron Swanson type of character in that he's very much his own thing. He's a fisherman. That's his identity. He's very hot on his Cornish identity. And then he just happens to be part of this group thanks to his dad teaching him the sea shanties, and he's had that strong bond with his dad, and so that's he's a very, you know, simple character, but there are so many moments in the film that are very, very cliched that I feel like aren't true to his character. So there's a lot of like sort of rom-com-y type moments, or moments you would see in a conventional musical where, you know, this is, everyone comes out and they break into song, and sometimes it just doesn't sit true to Jim's character specifically. But I think a lot of the village and the community are a lot more traditional, and so some of the things where, you know, they're all getting upset about something, and so they head off on a boat to London, and you're like, but would they have actually done that? Like, would that have been the impetus? And again, they sort of say at the end of the film, in the credits, the film's based around true characters. It's based around these fishermen's friend, and I think the first film was definitely more true to their story. However, this one and the storylines following the main characters that they've chosen to follow, a lot of them were like, I love a rom-com, and I love cheesy romance and cheesy comedy and sort of that, like, it would never happen in real life thing that happens in musicals. I really love that, but it kind of sat at odds with the way these men are and the way that Jim, especially being the like main character, is, and so that was definitely an interesting thing, and again something that kind of just didn't quite sit right with me, and something that I'm still digesting a little bit. And yeah, like I say, it was just that it was like there was something not quite sitting right, not quite sitting smoothly, like a little bump in the road. And then there was the fact that you could kind of feel the pared downness and the formulaic, like following the rulesness of the COVID protocols. However, there's some amazing like whole ensemble cast singing moments in this that were wonderful. And then when you do get to the end credits, a bit like in the first film, you do get to see the actual group doing what the guys in the film have been doing for like one specific part of it, not spoiling it, but that was great to have footage of that, actual footage, and that runs through the whole like sort of first half of the credits. So if you're going to see this one, do stay for the credits. But yeah, that runs through the first sort of half of the credits. But yeah, some of the other bits I felt were put in there just kind of for effect, and it didn't sit true to the story, and so that's why it's a bit of a mixed one for me. In terms of should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one, I think for the views of Cornwall and sort of the seas in general, you know, some of which you could tell was like stock footage, it felt a bit more like a TV show where, oh, we're going to see footage of the ocean now, and then we're going to be in Jim's house, or oh, we're going to see footage of the ocean now, and then we're going to be in the pub. I think that, you know, visually it is very pleasing because these parts of the country are beautiful and the scenes are lovely, and then sort of when they're out at sea on the boat, it's you've got to have that kind of like sounds of the waves and that view of the horizon, and then the sort of musical value of it as well. I was really lucky, I saw it in a really big screen in quite a fancy cinema, and so yeah, the musical elements of it were wonderful, and so you've got that kind of like build of the voices, that kind of, you can hear the separate parts of the harmonies because you've got it coming at you from all sides. And so in terms of seeing it in the cinema, I'm quite glad I saw it in the cinema for those reasons. Do you have to go and see it in the cinema? Do you have to go and see it now because everybody's going to be talking about it? Absolutely not. Would I recommend paying your cinema going money to see this one this week? I don't know. I feel like if you are, you know, a horror fan, then Nope is just out. If you've got kids, then you've got the Superhero League of Pets thing. And then you've got Bullet Train, which I am yet to see, but I would like to see. Might be seeing it tomorrow. Don't know. Depends what the weather does. And And yeah, so I'm a bit torn on this one. I would probably say no. However, if you're a fan of the first film and you're a fan of musicals, I think you will appreciate seeing and hearing the musical elements and revisiting the characters of this one on the big screen. So I'm going to leave that one up to you this week, I think. A couple of movie reviews in a row where I've been like, I don't know how I felt about this film. I would like to go and see something this week where I can come back to you and say, this was wonderful, or this really lived up to the book. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? So as always, do let me know in comments if there is a particular film you think that I should go and see this week. Should I go and see Bullet Train? Do I need to make it a priority? Let me know. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Please make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on my bookish content coming your way in the week, or my movie review coming your way next week. And yes, I will be back with my next video, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.